Hi, welcome to Motorcar Makeover, where I will show you, the average Starbucks drinking girly girl, how to treat your car right. The first tutorial for today is how to diagnose your check engine light for a VVT valve. You'll see here we have a 2012 Chevy Equinox 2.4 liter engine. So we're gonna have to replace this part because I have to get emissions tested. Now my check engine light came on, ran the code scanner, P0013. So your VVT valve, VVT solenoid, something very common that goes in Chevy Equinoxes. For starters, we have to take this cover off right here. So grab your trusty flathead or a socket. We got two screws. We got one right here and we got one down here that we need to remove this top cover. Okay, next step, you have to remove this cover right here, but in order to do that, you have to unscrew the oil cap first. Try not to get oil on your nice outfit. Next step, look at the part. There's two valves, there's two VVT valves. This is the intake valve, this is the outtake valve going to the exhaust. Now the codes that we're throwing, we're telling me I need to replace this one. So these can be a little tough to get off, especially if they haven't been taken off for a while, but there's a little tab right here. So you try to push down on it, lift straight up, you should be able to take it off. Next step, there's a bolt down there that you have to unscrew to remove. You're gonna need a socket wrench and you're gonna need a 10mm attachment to get that off. Now it's still summertime in Connecticut, so some of these parts take a long time to cool down after you've used the vehicle. If this part gets stuck, sometimes you want to take a trusty flathead screwdriver, either use this end or that end. You might want to tap it a little bit, loosen it, and then you use the flathead to try and, jimmy it up a little bit, just because nothing ever comes out easily. Now when you take the part out, you're going to make a bit of a mess. You're going to get oil everywhere, so you want to clean it up a little bit before you put the new valve in. Looks much better. So a bolt came with the new valve, and it turns out it's a different size than the old bolt, so I had to switch out my 10mm for an 8mm, so just make sure you check. You can use the old bolt if you want, but I prefer to use new parts when necessary. Okay, now you got to put the wiring harness back on. Just make sure it's purple, but since you didn't take the other one off, it's all good. And there's paint to show where the tabs line up, so you make sure you line it up. You just gently press it on there. You'll hear a little bit of a click and you're good. It's installed. Now we put the covers back on. See? Not so hard. And guess what, ladies? It only cost me $56. Don't ever go to a dealership ever again.